Okay, I went to Josephine County Circuit Court, Snook versus Swan, and here is my audio. Okay, I haven't really kept a video log of my my current situation, but let me give a brief catch-up for while I'm driving. I'm actually in Oregon. I have been this past week to the Josephine County Circuit Court dealing with the Snook versus Swan case. The U.S. Observer newspaper out there I've been battling for 6.5 years in a lawsuit. So things have gotten very interesting the last, I guess about 4 months, the last remaining 4 months ever since this case between Edward Snook and myself have been handed to a new judge by the name of Judge Robert Bain. Well, let me just say this. The case was already very interesting the past 6 years before this new judge, but the previous judge name was Judge Thomas Hull. And, I'll give my opinions about these judges later, but let me just share with you what's going on currently. The summary judgment that was filed by Edward Snook, I don't know if those of you who are watching are familiar with what a summary judgment is or what it does, but it's a legal action you can take in the beginning of a case, usually after you have discovery, which is producing evidence for both parties, looking at each other's evidence, and then having to, if you believe that there's enough, if you have a position to file a summary judgment, which means that the opposing side does not have any kind of evidence that would actually make a possible jury rule in your favor during trial, then you can move for a summary judgment motion, and the judge is required then to review affidavits, depositions, as well as any evidence that's already within the record to have a legal determination. So Mr. Snook and his attorney, James Leuenberger, filed a motion for summary judgment against my remaining counterclaims and my affirmative defenses and answers to my in my original counterclaim. And this judge is very, very just a very bad judge. This Judge Robert Bain has already showed the kind of judge he was back in October of 2019 when they filed a fraudulent, I call it fraudulent, but a fraudulent contempt of court order against me. And this is when Judge Bain was not even on my case. I didn't even know who Judge Bain ever was, so how could I ever be in contempt of court in front of him? But that's what Mr. Leuenberger, Edward Snooks Attorney, got this other judge that's not part of the case file and sign a fraudulent contempt order that was not true, forcing me to have to travel all the way to Oregon. I ended up litigating 6 hours in front of Judge Hull, the original judge, and I won. So my point is, this is the kind of judge that I'm dealing with now, because after just a few months ago, I guess Judge Hull finally supposedly retired, and Judge Bain just hopped on my case himself and has taken over my case, and he is pushing this case through without following any rules. And the most recent issue that they were actually more of a cheap shot that Ed Snook and Judge Bain did together. James Leuenberger, Ed Snook's attorney, and did together was they decided to, after 6 years, they decided to pull my fee waiver. Not really pull it, let me just say this. I had a fee waiver approved back in 2014 due to my financial situation, which is very challenging. It's been for quite a while. And so Judge Hull approved myself as being indigent and approved a fee waiver which waives all filing fees in my entire case. So I've never been required to have to pay the filing fees because I'm not able to afford it, okay? Which is fair. So this order has been signed, and it's been in my record ever since, and I've never had any issues until Judge Hull just recently retired, and this new judge comes on board, and a new clerk is now in charge of the civil cases. And all of a sudden, 2 days before the summary judgment hearing, a clerk, actually two clerks, well, really 3 clerks, Teresa Teal, Tarina Swaja, and Betsy Garlisby, or something like that. Betsy, Teresa, and Trina. All 3 decided to get involved in my ability to file in my case. So after I timely filed my opposition and my objections to the summary judgment that was filed by Mr. Snook, his attorney, they decided to pull my filings, reject them, and tell me that I have to pay a filing fee. Well, I reminded them to look in the record that I have a fee waiver approval for the entire case, and they decided to challenge me on this fee waiver and tell me that I did not. They've told me all kinds of lies, directly trying to say first that the Chief Justice changed the rule back, and so now the Chief Justice requires filing a fee waiver application for each filing that requires a filing fee, that Judge Hull's order was wrong the entire time, and that they should have been filing, charging me a filing fee or requiring me to fill out a new fee waiver application, which is also not true. Nowhere in the law does it say this anywhere. But they continue to challenge me on it. So what happened is they pulled my appearance and my response to Mr. Lowenberger's summary judgment. I still appeared at the hearing and I still argued on record, but this is the reason why the Judge Bain decided to rule against me, is now after the fact claiming that I did not participate because I refused to follow the rules and pay a filing fee, nor did I fill out a fee waiver application like it's required. And again, it's not required. Nowhere in the law does it say that, and they're refusing to allow me to file into my case the way I've been filing for the past 6 years. So this caused me to lose. And so then I received a judgment for $57,000 for and 9% interest in attorney fees, with Mr. Snook as the creditor. And the reason why Judge Bain says on his order for why he approved the summary judgment in favor of Mr. Snook is because, again, I refused to follow the rules by paying my filing fees, and I refused to sorry, I got a call that just came through while I'm driving, and I refused to appear and answer to the summary judgment, which is both a lie. So that's where I'm at. So now I'm in Oregon still, and I've went and I had a meeting with the clerks in person yesterday. I recorded my beautiful conversation with Miss Teresa Teal, and I will be making that public for everyone to hear. And now I'm on my way up to Oregon, Beaverton, Oregon, to deal with an attorney that I hired back in 2016 for an appellate coach. She was paid $5,000, and this woman has given me a hard time as well. I do believe that there has been some mass email that's been sent out to all Oregon State Bar attorneys to not get involved or not assist the case under Snook versus Swan. And I say that because this case has been going on for a very long time, 6.5 years. I am a pro se litigant representing myself. So this court just keeps digging their grave deeper and deeper each time they've tried to get rid of me. They've done it very unlawfully, and I'm pretty sharp. I know Oregon law now better than I've known probably any kind of law. You know, I've been studying it literally daily for 6.5 years. I think I know the law here better than most judges actually know what the law says. And I'm not saying that to be cocky, I'm saying that factually. So I've really given this courthouse now a run for their money. They're wanting this case gone, and so they had to go to these extreme measures by ripping out my ability to file, which is a civil rights due process violation. I do have rights to have the justice system available for all parties involved. It shouldn't matter about filing fees and all this like they're now trying to use against me, but that's the only other option that they know that they can have to try to get this case shut down and be done with it, is by doing something so just shisty. You know, they have no lawful authority to challenge me on my fee waiver. These clerks don't. They shouldn't even be worried about my fee waiver. They should just be filing my filings when they're received, following the rules of filing, and leaving the fee waiver issue to the judge or to the opposing side if they want to challenge me. That's how it's supposed to work. So it doesn't matter what these clerks' opinions are, what they think, or they're not supposed to be doing anything regarding the law. They're not supposed to make any legal decisions in the case. If there's a problem with my filing fee, it's none of their business, okay? Because they're not the opposing side. Now, if they want to maybe mention something to the judge, if the judge wants to file a show cause or some sort of challenge to my ability to paying my filing fees, then that's what has to be done. There's a process that goes through it. But they have decided to completely ignore Judge Hull's prior ruling. It's still in my case file. It was never, ever invalidated. A judge's order is a judge's order, period. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. If they want to challenge Judge Hull's order, then they should be able to, but they can't do this to me. So I'm actually on my way up to Oregon. I'm going to be stopping by the Supreme Court, and I'll keep everyone posted on what happens after this. There's a lot more to this story, but I think I'll stop now. It's already, I'm going on to 10 minutes and I'm driving. I think I'm getting pretty close to where I need to be pulling off. So thanks for listening, and I will video upload another part 2 to this video. Thanks for your time. God bless everyone.